You are right, of course, in Twitch chat that today would be an excellent date to have a date for our 64-bit worlds. Happy Valentine's Day for all of those Valentine aligned. And happy Friday to everyone else. And how you doing, everyone? Welcome to Court of the Rings on twitch.tv/LotroStream. I'm going to be with you for the next hour. I'm doing something experimental today in that I am broadcasting this into our brand new Discord just to see if it works. Good idea, bad idea. When did that stop me? Let's find out. So I thought that might be kind of a cool thing to just rebroadcast it into the Discord, which is one of the pieces of news that I'm going to have for you today. But excellent, excellent. I do not, just to be clear, and I apologize, kind of. We don't have a date for the 64-bit server transfers yet. However, we are getting close to the point of having a date and releasing it to you. So I don't know when that's going to be. I wouldn't want to speculate because I could think based on today where that might fall. But then there could be something, let's say, come next Tuesday, Wednesday, or something that's going to be like, yeah, okay, well, that ain't going to happen now. And so we want to do the final pieces of work we need to do to get these 64-bit server transfers ready and in place. And then before we do the rest of the work that's necessary, that's when we will announce the date. So it'll be soon. We are looking, I think it's pretty safe to say we're looking at March here. Whether it's early March or slightly into the month, I don't know yet. But I think at this point we're looking at weeks we're certainly looking at weeks rather than months. And that's the best guidance I can provide right now. If you're in a position where you think you need, let's say, more than 2 weeks to do what you want to do to transfer on day 3, then probably want to get going on that pretty quick. And you don't need to wait for that date to do that. If you want to do some of the work now, you can. We have an article up on Lotro.com that really will walk you through the process of what you need to know, what you need to do, if anything. In a lot of cases, you really don't need to do that much. But in the case where you've got kinships in a lot of houses and or any of those things, like a lot of that stuff, you will want to read through our guide, and you can find that over on Lotro.com. So we're getting close to being able to give you a date, but we're not quite there yet. I would say for news, the first thing I would direct you to is the We Have a Cave Troll podcast. That's the show that Orion and Scenario did yesterday on this channel at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That is now up on our YouTube channel in addition to a video on our Twitch channel. They did a lot of general Q&A from the forum community in particular. And so a lot of big questions got asked and responded to by our lead system designer and senior world designer. So rather than have to go through me, you can just hear them say it. And you can do that hopefully after the show is done by going to our YouTube channel and checking that out. Let me get to a little bit of news. So can still play the character if we hit the trade. I don't know what you mean by that, but in general, there's work you can do that will not prohibit you from being able to play the character if you want to do that work on some of your housing decorations, things like that beforehand. Can I tell you some of the work that's being done on the new servers? At this point, we're still in the hardware and hooking up software phase. And once that gets settled is when we'll have a much better sense of when we're actually going to be able to launch this thing. And until that happens, we can work toward a date. But until all the hardware is in place, I mean, who knows, right? So once the hardware is in place and everything's hooked up and we're seeing sort of those initial connections take place, then we can do the rest of the work that's necessary to actually be able to open the 64-bit worlds to the public. And there's enough time to do that where We're getting to the point that we can announce a date. I can tell you that much. We're just not there on this Friday. And also, there's a bit of like, well, do we want to say it on a Friday at noon, really, before a 3-day holiday weekend in the U.S.? Is that wise? Didn't we just get burned on that for, like, releasing this whole 64-bit thing in December? So, there's that too. In our kinship server migration meetings, we've been discussing the transfer process. I mentioned a recommended transfer order, but the transferred wizard has a select all option. Should we avoid that due to potential issues with transferring kinship leaders, housing owners, shared storage, etc.? Or is the wizard smart enough to handle it on the right order? Thanks. The order is not so much that things will break if you don't do that order, as it is there's a lot to consider when looking at everything. And if you do it in that order, you will capture everything that needs to be captured at the time it needs to be captured. However, as long as all of your characters, your shared items, and you opt into shared items, as long as you're ready to go, select all totally works. No problem whatsoever. Just select all and do it that way if you want. It's just that, that especially if you do a shared items transfer, that does mean, in fact, that your shared items will transfer, right? And if you do transfer characters, that means the stuff that they have is going to go with them and things like that. So that's why the order exists the way it is. Not so much due to technical limitations or, oh my god, if I transfer this person before this person, this is going to happen. There's a little bit of that's possible, like if you log into a kinship member before the kinship is established, there's no kinship for that member to join, so they're disbanded. So then in that case, they need a kinship invite. But honestly, is sending a quick kinship invite really that big a deal? Not really. So, for the most part, it's fine, and you should feel free to select all. But don't select all unless you've at least done the work to consider what you should be doing to transfer all your characters. And yeah, I think it really, when it comes to kinships, it's login order that matters. Have that kinship leader log in right away. That way, the chance of someone logging in a member before the kinship is established is minimized. And it's true, the transfer process, we say something like an hour in some message, but it really is pretty close to instant. However, I would caution you that this is going to be as busy as this server transfer process has probably ever been in the history of the game. So, if it's going to take some time, this is when it's going to take a little bit of time. And so I would say that, we have messaging in there that you should wait a little while, and that's probably going to be true and during those initial days that we're doing these transfers. We are aware, Subu to you, that we have had some game instability in recent days. We do apologize for that. Generally, uh, the disruptions have been external in cause, as in there's really only so much we can do about it. We do have mitigation systems in place that can, capture the issue and then essentially work around it. But sometimes it does take a little bit of time, and we have seen a little bit of that. It's true in the past, 48, 72 hours. So we are aware that there's been a little bit of game instability. Hopefully it's been fairly brief, and our own charting seems to support that assertion, but it can take a few minutes and be a rough experience initially. Do you need to do anything on your end to prepare for the new server? It all depends whether you want to play on the new server. There's a part of me that maybe thinks that we should let you know that if you're cool where you are and you're happy with what you're doing and all the people you're playing with and everyone's there is happy doing what you want to do, you don't have to. No one's making anyone go to these 64-bit worlds. And on top of that, the free transfers are going to be open for a very long period of time. So there's really no rush unless you want your character name and kinship name and house location and things like that. So to some extent, do you need to do anything? No, not at all. You don't even need to pay attention. You can honestly just kind of keep playing on wherever you are, if that's your preference. But if you do want to transfer, my suggestion is do take a look at that transfer guide. It'll answer any questions you have, and it'll probably help reassure you that the process is pretty solid. And then when it actually comes time to doing it, you're really just hitting a few buttons. That's all there is to it. And then having to reset everything up, which can be a lot. We recognize that. All right, I am seeing what I can do in Twitch chat. It's true that once you've initiated the character transfer process, you can't play that character on its origin world. That is true. And there will be that period where we have that 24-hour period, probably something like 24 hours in particular, where we're only allowing transfers but not allowing login to the game world. And that's to allow for the transfer service to do what it needs to do and under the expectation that it's going to get hit real hard. So there will be that period of time where those characters are going to be inaccessible, but it's really for a 24-hour period or something close to it. The idea, Flubbed, of being able to choose how you are renamed is a good one, but the renaming system is pretty set in stone as to what it's going to do, which is it's going to give you that -1. And then you can rename it if you want to. And if you wanted to rename it, actually, I don't know if you can do server names and your character name, but the idea is solid. To have it be like, hey, I'm Hurgler from Crick Hollow. I'm Hurgler from Gladden. How long will the free transfers be available? We've stated that they're going to be open at least through the end of August. End of August is our current announced end time for transfers. If we need to go a little longer than that, if we got other things happening that dictate us extending that, we can. But that's likely going to be fine. The end of Honor, you sent your characters over to Arkenstone, which you now raggarts. Is it possible to take these characters back to European servers with the new transfers? No, it is not. Sadly, the US to US and EU to EU restriction is in place. So the character on Arkenstone is going to have to go to the servers that Arkenstone can go to, which is the US worlds. Scenario mentioned 2 more bull roars for U43. Are we looking at around March 5th for that to be live? I did catch that. I think there is some chance that Scenario considered this week's bull roar to be one of those 2, perhaps not knowing what day it was out, because he's a world designer. He doesn't have to really deal with bull roars that much. Anyway, well, he does, because he listens to the feedback. He's been active in chat on it and that. However, I think we have one more bull roar in addition to the one that is happening as we speak. And then I think currently we're looking at something like the final week of February to release update 43. However, there's a question about, because of timing between that and the server transfers on the legendary item reward track and how tied into U43 that is. So it may be that because of that, we end up pushing out U43 a little bit. So I don't know, really. The timing is very real kind of wishy-washy at the moment. We have solid dates, but those solid dates are only solid to the extent that the foundation they are laid on is solid, and that is somewhat movable at the moment. So, but it could be something like end of the month for update 43 if we can largely break out the legendary item reward track, or we decide we have to do it anyway. And then we've got not long after we'll have the server transfers, some matter of weeks after that. All right, I've just been gabbing and gabbing and gabbing. The heck, I want to get in some gameplay today, and this is what I do. I just talk instead. Our bonus this weekend is a loot box Embers and Motes boost. There's a 25% one. This goes through Monday. In the United States, we have, is it President's Day? Is that what it is? Is that why we have Monday off? I don't know. I know I got Monday off, and that's kind of nice. And then next week as well, the Forester crafting event does kick back in as well. That starts on the 15th at 10 a.m. I would also mention the thing I wanted to put up on the screen, and this is probably the news of the week. And also, hello everyone in Discord. I haven't been able to check into you because I've got 3 monitors and each one of them is being used right now. Problem with streaming into the Discord. I can't really see your chat so good. But we opened our Discord this week, and we just crossed 8,600 members a short time ago. We're on track to maybe clear 10 this weekend. By the end of Monday would be my guess. Unless it slows down, but it hasn't slowed down that much since we opened on Monday. And that's an amazing response to the Lord of the Rings Online official Discord. And thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of it. It's been busy, and there's a lot of chat. For a while, I had to enable slow mode on general, for example. But it hasn't, for the most part, it's really just been cooking along nicely. No major issues. Not really. And the moderation team has been good, and the technology has been mostly good. And everything seems to be cooking along, both for just text chat and voice chat. I got a couple of forums set up. I don't want to mix cross the streams too much in many ways. It's like, all right, if you really want a lot of forums in your Discord, may I suggest going to the actual forums, right? But we have been responding by adding channels and things this week as well. And 8,600 is a lot of people, and it's been excellent for grouping and organizing player events and other things. So check it out if you want to. You do need to have a cell phone right now. We do require verified Discord accounts. I know that is not my most popular decision in the world, but I'm doing it anyway. And the reason for that is it has proven to be the absolute best, most effective, longest term way to prevent so many problems, including spam, scams, alt accounts, trolling, harassment, etc. Not that some of that can't happen under a verified system, but just turns out by making it be verified, you too will see most of your problems go away in your Discord. So that's why we have it. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be opening up manual verification. I can't do it while the rush is this high. I just don't have time or ability really to respond to that number of people who might choose to click a button rather than actually verify the Discord account. But there will be a point in the future here that I'll open up a ticketing process where people can submit to just have us manually verify your Discord account. And that's for people who are like, my cell phone doesn't work, or I can't have a cell phone. The FBI won't let me, whatever, I don't know why you can't have a cell phone, but there are also people who are like, no, cell phones are evil, and you're evil for suggesting I have a cell phone, and don't be evil. And so I'll do my best to be able to manually verify those folks. Give it a couple weeks yet. Once things slow down a little bit and I've got enough space to be able to handle, let's say, 100 or so requests, I'll open up the tickets and we'll just take care of you. Otherwise, things have been going real well. We've had a lot of requests for additional language support in the Discord, and it's something I'd love to just say yes to, but the practical side of me and the side of me that understands the ramifications of opening up, say, official Brazilian Portuguese or Spanish language support in our Discord is such I can't say yes to it right now, and I apologize. I couldn't read any of your stuff even if I wanted to. And it's there's a problem. There are some implications of officially supporting languages that I really just can't open that at the moment. All right. Before I get in game, let's take a look at the Discord. Have I made you all mad? I need an assistant. A producer. Yeah. Servers or new raid first? Great question. So we have stated that we want to get the raid out in February. So that is why I think there's a world where update 43 goes out in February before the server transfers, because we do want to get that new raid out as quickly as we can. And as we saw this week on Bull Roar, it's looking there's work to be done yet that Orion and others have already commented on, but the raid's coming together real good, so that should be fine to release by the end of the month. So I think it'll be the new raid first. I think that's the plan. What that means about the LI reward track, I'm less clear on. Maybe we can just flip it live without worrying about it. Yes, there's so many people are requesting different Discord channels. Like we need a. I've the number. Everyone. Here's how it works as a community manager. You open up a Discord with too many channels to begin with, and throughout the process, every single employee and every single player and everyone on Palantir and everyone who looks at it is like, "Are you crazy? You have got so many channels. This is ridiculous. Why do this?" And so then you go, well, okay, so let me figure out what I can cut. And you maybe cut half a dozen channels. And then within 24 hours of the Discord opening, you've got no fewer than maybe 20 channel requests for the already bloated channel list that you created that everyone's been yelling at you about how bloated your Discord looks, and then everyone just wants to keep eating. That's what happens. So yeah, I guess we could do a costume channel, like a fashion channel and a music channel, in addition to the two new plugin channels and the suggestions forum and everything else. But yeah, we gotta have something on player music, don't we? And we gotta have something for fashion. So I guess that's what we do. I guess we just spam away. And if you don't like it, you can just turn off the visibility on it. All right. I'm not going to get into too many other questions from Discord here because I really just need to keep my focus. However, have we considered redesigning the system to allow any character to log into any game world? Sadly, there's a landmine field that you would have to cross through before something like that could be possible. There are reasons generally why we have the US to US and EU to EU restrictions. And some of the other restrictions that we have about server transfers, up to and including the ability to go back and forth, because you can introduce data corruption and things if you don't do it right. So the idea of just kind of a free-for-all, in theory, sounds cool, but in practice, it would be a big problem, frankly. I'm aware that in 2015, the team had the opportunity to do like server box present titles and things like that. And I don't know. I don't think we're not that size team anymore. And I really don't think that is something that we can fit into our development schedule, unfortunately. I know that for the 2015 thing, people liked their titles and everything, but I just don't know that that's possible this time around. So Subu, to you, just to be clear, if you wait until day 3 to do the transfer, could there be an issue? No. I mean, I guess it depends what you're trying to do, but in day 30, it should be fine. Day 130, it should be fine. That's my point. Ultimately, is that you don't need to, if you don't have a reason to, then you don't need to worry about rushing to the transfers. Just take your time and make the right decision for you. I have not heard of word of a carry-all sale prior to the server launch. I can tell you that I have suggested to various people that the community would really like us to put housing item carry-alls in particular on sale. I've been seeing quite a bit of that. And if we can do something, maybe we can. I'm going through Twitch chat. I got a lot. Wow. Everyone's been talking a lot lately. It has been busy. The 64-bit servers are neither delayed nor do we have a date for it yet. It's simply a matter of they're going to be released as soon as possible. Oh god, no, I don't want a Cordovan channel in the Discord. That would be terrible. There's already someone on there that's like calling themselves my mustache and stuff. You have to develop some thick skin, and people usually mean it in jest. But you get depersonalized a little bit as a community manager and become an object. And so people will just drop your face onto memes and things without giving it a second thought. But meanwhile, imagine waking up someday, grabbing your cup of coffee, turning on the internet, and seeing your face on there in some kind of meme, and you're like, whoa, oh God. Why did I let myself look like that, But it happens. It happens. Grand scheme of things. I got much bigger things to worry about. I'm both honored, flattered, and horrified for the most part. So, yeah. Yes, I currently see. Uh, I currently see in our schedule a bull roarer plan for next week as well. It's a little bit TBD, so I'm not sure quite what the status of the bull roarer is. Ultimately, that'll be a decision that'll happen when we get back on Tuesday amongst the Lochor QA team as to whether the build is ready and can be deployed. But there's a pretty good chance we'll see a bull roarer next week. All right. Well, I've already killed half this by just talking, and this is why I'm so far behind on my gameplay character. Because what do? I spend all day talking and not playing, and then we wonder why I'm so far behind. However, I am on Landreval, and I have got my character here. I'm working my way very slowly on this play character through the new content, and it's very, very slow. So there we go. But I'm at the point where I'm in Amberrule, doing some questing around here, and I got myself ready for the stream. Found the mission giver. I thought maybe we'd run a few missions if I had some time, and otherwise we're doing some moving around, talking to people, fighting some brigands, and what have you. So we're gonna do that here on stream. And then let me go and and I also switched over to an Oryx myself. Oh, I also changed my outfit. Oh, also last weekend I was in that outfit contest. That was so much fun. Pow2908, Aubrey, the weird one, and everyone else, Cantoran, and everyone else who was involved. I hope I can't think of everyone who streamed. Sorry. Nonetheless, it rocked. It was so much fun, and I won it. And I think I won it fair and square. I don't think I won it just because I'm the community manager. I think I won it because my costumes were good. But nonetheless, I didn't take the prize. And the reason for that is because I do work for Standing Stone Games. It would not be appropriate for me to win a $50 Steam gift certificate from a player event. So I opted not to do that, and I gave it to the second place winners. But I won it. Oh, that was pretty cool. The heroes are what made it so much fun and tricky and challenging and like a real game show. Is you had 1 minute. So the host would issue the theme of the event. Like, let's say... I can't remember if I can think of one of the names of the categories now. Hobbit Date Night. There you go. Hobbit Date Night. And you would have exactly 60 seconds to go into your wardrobe, throw together an outfit, every piece, and that was one of the pieces. So you'd be like, you get it all done, and you didn't have time to do your shoulder plate or something like that. But you get better at it as you got a little bit of practice. 60 seconds to throw that outfit together from scratch, and then have it be judged by a panel of 3 judges, sort of reality TV show style. And it was so much fun. It was so cool. It was such a great idea. Any kinship could do it for their kin nights or whatever. And I strongly encourage it as a bit of fun to do with you and your friends. Because it was so much fun. And that stream was amazing. And I'm going to steal that idea for sure. And actually do that on the official side here someday. We're going to do a Court of the Rings hour-long fashion show. And just do that, because that's just too cool. It was just too cool. It was so good.
We have discovered a dangerous cult of Usan Kuni worshippers hiding in our own
how much advance
They
notice
call
can we
themselves
expect for the
Anahi,
64-bit
and have
launch
made their home
date
inside
announcement?
Ashinu.
I would like to see if we can do a couple of weeks. That's my plan, is to try to give you something in the range of like 14 days for it. That should be plenty of time to do everything you need to do, especially knowing what you need to do. You can do that all... You can at least do a lot of that right now. You don't really need to wait, right? So... Okay. But my thought is something in the range of a couple of 2 weeks. If I can do a 2-week notice, that should be good. And in part, that's also remember why we did the announcement in December. That, you know, I know some people got like, oh wait, why did you just say this and then leave for Christmas? That wasn't very smart. Turns out it was planned, and it's because we knew that there was some world where this was going to be happening fairly quickly. We wanted to make sure that we gave you plenty of time to get acclimated to the concept and what we're going to be doing here. So I guess I would say at this point you don't really need to wait for a date announcement to do 90% of what you need to do. And so you can go ahead and do that right now.
I'll preview it too.
So seriously though, that concept was so good for the fashion show. It was the most fun thing I'd done in a while. It was super fun. Because it's tough too, because but you get better at it. You end up being like, well, okay, don't forget the boots, or don't forget the whatever. So to the extent I had an advantage, and that's partially why I also didn't want to... I mean, I wasn't going to take money from the player point blank, but... I did have a little bit of an advantage, in that I've got a pool of Lotra points that I could buy costumes from the store with. In addition, I actually... IRL, or IRJ, in my real job, I often... have to just quick throw together an outfit for a character because need a screenshot for Ill Omens, or I need a screenshot for Yuletide, or I need a screenshot for the next update, or I don't know, whatever. The new cosmetic we just debuted. So I have actually over the years found myself numerous times having to throw together an outfit about as quickly as I could throw it together, just because you don't have time to fiddle with it. You're doing, you're doing 40 screenshots, and you can't spend 20 minutes per outfit, right? So I've actually sort of been able to know how to kind of quick go to and throw outfits together, and I think that gave me a little bit of an advantage on the time pressure side of the competition over the weekend. Although that first minute was like, oh my gosh, I forgot how quickly a minute is. My character was all sorts of wrong with the wrong cloak and everything. It's true, the story and the way you present the outfit matters, because it does matter with fashion. Why are you dressed like you are? What are you trying to say? And things like that. How does it fit the theme was certainly a big part of it. That just me should have gotten negative. It did, if I recall, Druid's Fire. If I recall, you docked me a point. And totally validly, too. I absolutely agreed with the deduction on the judge's point for I wore this outfit that was something else. I believe that wasn't that, Beast to the Brawl or something like that? Wasn't that the prompt? Something like that? And so I wore the one outfit that you can get in the store. I can't think of the name of it now. It's a store item. You can actually spend real money on it. I'm not saying you should. Maybe you should. You probably should, actually. Because, you may want to horrify your friends. We have Valentine's Day. Perfect gift for a loved one. Oh, I was gonna kill myself. Oops. That is a horrible idea. This is true. I never said all my ideas were good. So, what would you say we should do about carryalls? Should we, I mean, I guess just put them all on sale, right? But you don't actually need all of them to be on sale. What are the carryalls you're actually needing for this upcoming transfer? It's the housing one, isn't it? Is that that's the one that we really need to worry about? Yeah. These little rat swarms are not okay. I would really not like that whatsoever in real life. I haven't had the opportunity to fall off a high ledge yet. Yes, Entmaiden is correct. The transfers from the Veil of the Nine worlds, that being Angmar and Mordor, will not be possible as part of this. The future of Angmar and Mordor is quite open. You know, the server itself has got a long ways to go before its experience, as advertised, really comes to a close. And what we end up doing when we do get to the end is not really a settled question. I would imagine at some point, once, you know, Angmar and Mordor reach the level cap of the regular game worlds, we'll do either what we normally do, which is to offer just free transfers from, and then close the world. But I think there's also a pretty good chance that we could do something else with these worlds as well, because there's really no reason why we would need to close it. Honestly, we could just keep it going as either a VIP world, preserve the VIP experience part of it there, or we could do something like open it up and turn it into a regular server, do transfers to. We could do transfers from, but like I say, there's a whole bunch of things we could do, and so at this point, why tie our hands today on it, you know? It's a big scorpion, that's for sure. Alright. I think I'm pretty well caught up. Yeah, someone, you know, it was funny. Someone, I guess it was in the PvMP community, was somewhat lamenting this week on the Discord about the Bombadil server, saying, you know, we should have another PvP server again. And, you know, a Bombadil server was a good time. The reality was, though, especially at that time, it didn't do all that great in terms of population numbers, and the community was well aware but it, was a pretty low pop server, really. And so, kind of in that regard, it can be a little tricky to say, well, we should do that again, because it didn't do super great. But at the same time, the people who played it, certainly seemed to really like it. So, yeah. I don't know if I can do this or not. Can I get in my heal? No. Alright. Yeah. I guess I was assuming it was a wound effect. Am I not correct about that? I guess I could have looked. Oh, okay. Shadow damage. Oh, shadow damage. Okay, well. Let's add some shadow mitigation. I was actually thinking the torches would probably be the thing to go there, but then, yeah. I'll kill the ads. Yeah. It's true. Our engineering resources tend to be among our more valuable. The reality is we just only have so much engineering resources. They're exceptionally busy, and they really don't have a lot of free time to just be chatting with people online. And if they're going to give up, let's say, half a day to do a live stream, we have to ask ourselves what we're willing to give up sometimes. And the answer is, would players rather talk to the engineer, or would they rather have the problem fixed? And that can be a thing too. So. We do have fairly creepy looking scorpions, I will admit. Right. Torch. Okay. But the idea of getting an engineer on stream would be good. Someday. We have. I mean, we've done it for anniversary streams and stuff. I've had Zerka on, I know. And I've had Kodog on as well. So I know they've been on stream, but they're not on often. Yeah, sort of creepy crawlies bother me. Can you make them teddy bears instead? Checkbox. I could be down for that. In the cave lie all manner of creepy crawl and scratch out, cute and fuzzy things. Yay! Searching through filth. All right, let me pop into the Discord. What do we got going on? Engineers are allergic to public speaking. I mean, I didn't want to be rude about it, but there is an element of that as well, where the engineers are like, do I have to? Like, for real, you're gonna make me? And, you know, you try to limit how much of that you do as well, you know what I mean? You do want to make your engineers happy, after all. Because they control the keys to basically everything. But it's true that there are some members of the team who are far more willing to just sort of go on camera like me and things like that. And there are members of the team, including quite a few of our engineers, who are like, hell no. Hell no, I don't want to be on camera. Are you kidding me? And then you gotta respect that as well. So, there's nothing at all wrong with that. Alright, well, what am I doing? I'm actually really just kind of bumming around here. Let me do... I'm just showing off the scenery. Let me get over to the other thing. I'm not quite sure where those quest rings went. So, somewhere I'm not scouting what I need to scout. Urishtar. I thought it would probably proc when I was near there, but maybe I'm on the wrong side of it or something. So, I might actually pop over to this side and see if I can get over there. Will the lead the charge deed of the raid be put on later less than a month and we don't even know what looks the T3? I would imagine that, per usual, the leading the charge deed will be available for a pretty long period of time after the raid debuts until a date as announced. And I don't think whether or not you've had the chance to get your strategy ready for Tier 3 before it's released necessarily should dictate the end date of the leading the charge deed. To your wider point that you want to see a T3 preview, for sure. And that's something we would like to do as well. I don't know that we're going to get it previewed in time for Tier 3. But it was on Bullroar this week. I know because I've run it. I was actually on both this week and last week. We've been doing some team playthroughs of the new raid ourselves, predominantly on Tier 1. To do polish and mechanics and just sort of get a sense of it. And I've been a part of those groups. And we were playing the same Bullroar that you got this week. So I'm aware of the current state of it. And it'll be good to go in time for release. Right. Yeah, I've seen some pretty fun kind of content filters over the years. Sort of like, you know, turn the blood into confetti settings, things like that. Okay, must be here. It has been interesting to see the Discord pop off and to start doing some streaming in there. One of the things I'm doing, and was maybe one of the weaker points of the Discord launch this week, is we ended up giving basically everyone who wanted it the creator role, because content creators are like, I want to promo my promo, right? And that's all good. We're down for it. That's a big part of the Discord. But because I had set the streamer role to be able to stream into the Discord, we ended up having a place where it's like, well, I can't just let any old streamer who shows up and says, yo, give me the role, be able to stream raw video into the Discord. I mean, I think people can perhaps do the math a little bit on that and figure out why that might not be the wisest decision. And so I'm going to be doing that today, actually, is kind of having a sort of just a general, hey, I'm a streamer visible role, and then another one which is I can do what I'm currently doing right now, which is live stream into the Discord in addition to Twitch. And I want to do this for player events as well, because I can see a world where pretty much any one of these server player events, whether it's concerts, things like that, get piped into the Discord for people who can't be in game and just want to hang out and see the stuff and be a part of the community. And so I could see this being a big part of that, but I'm going to need to be careful because I can't obviously just let any old person stream into our official Discord. So. This question is from the Discord. Are we aware of payment problems with Eastern Europe? Any plans of renewing it? Our payment process is largely dictated by the payment system that we use. And so the reason you use a payment system is because they handle all the regional currencies, a lot of the conversions, a lot of the processing, a lot of the questions about, say, State Department rules. So, where can we do business? What currencies can we accept? How do you get, how do you pay for something in PayPal and whatever local currency you have? And so most of that is out of our control. We utilize a service that deals with this, and then they're the ones that deal with most payment concerns. I know in Eastern Europe in particular, and for a while now, because of the situation in Ukraine and other things, there have been all sorts of payment problems. And some of that is all of it really is outside of our control, but some of it in particular is not a question of can we accept payments, is you can't accept payments. Either to or from, right? And so there's all sorts of things that happen around the world on a regular basis, particularly of late in Eastern Europe, that have had some consequences on your ability to pay, and that sucks. But it's typically not something that we really have much control over. It really happens at the payment processor level. Whatever happened to Dwinstrel the Dwarven Minstrel? Will he make a stream return? Funny you mention that. I was just thinking about that this past week when I was bopping around on my characters, and the answer is yes. I should bring Dwinstrel back, perhaps under the new server structure, and play them for a while. I like Stampion here. Stampion's fun and easy to play for me, and I did, but yes. So I really didn't get very far today. I just need to get some Scorpions, defeat Brigands, and deal with Scout the Road, which I still haven't done yet. Thought that was what I was doing, but I'm not seeing the thing to ring. So I think we're just going to call it a stream here then at this point. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'll be back next Friday with more. We are going to have... This was a Q&A and gameplay focused stream, but a lot of them tend to be interviews and other kinds of things as well. So, especially as these 64-bit servers get close, we're gonna have a whole lot more about servers and the new raid, and I'd like to do the new raid. Now that we've got this Discord and everything, I think my ability to just pop into a channel and be like, yo, raid, noon Eastern, let's do this thing, is going to happen. And so I would like to see this new raid on the live stream. I'm not saying we're going to show off our superior gameplay, but we could show off the raid and probably do it easier than ever before, thanks in part to the Discord here. So expect that in the coming weeks. I would also expect to see Sev on again at some point here soon. Ryan and Scenario have been really busy doing their own things of late as well. There we are. It's been a busy couple of weeks, and will be a busy few weeks yet. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of it. If you're watching on YouTube, really do appreciate the like and the subscribe. If you hit the like button, it's kind of minor, but it really helps spread the word. It's what determines where videos get into people's recommendation pages, and that's what all of YouTube is about. So if you hit that like, we would really appreciate it. Otherwise, thanks for playing Lucha, everyone. Hope you have a great weekend. Extended weekend for some of you. Extra day to get some stuff in. Have fun. I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye-bye.